Hello viewers, today we have this BMW E39 with a very interesting case. I'm going to tell you briefly the story. The owner was driving and suddenly the battery light started flashing and the car stalled out. So he decided to call a friend to jump start him, and yeah, they wasn't able to start the car. And of course after that they decided to bring the car to our shop to see what is happening. We decided to try to jump start it too, and we was not able to start it. And the interesting thing that I saw when I was trying to start the car, I saw that we don't have any check engine light. I'm going to show you inside the car what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm putting the car to park. The key is in the ignition on, and we don't have any check engine light. If everything is okay with the car, the check engine light should be somewhere here, and we don't have none. So let me show you what is so interesting with this car. Not this is the part of the problem, but I want to show you what is the real deal, what happened. This is the battery that we removed from the car. We removed it, we installed our battery, and still the car doesn't want to crank and start because we don't have communication to the ECM. But I want to show you something interesting in this battery, which we removed from the car. Okay, so we're going to use the multimeter to measure how bad is this battery. For that I'm going to use my probes. So as we can see, the black one is the ground, which goes to the minus, and the red one goes to the plus, like that. And what you guys are seeing, something wrong? Yes, it's this minus. So it looks like I messed up the probes or something, but I can tell you I didn't. So if we rotate the probes, the plus goes to the ground probe, like that, and the minus goes to the plus. We don't have any minus 20 volts. I'm going to show you one more test with a battery charger to show you what's happening. Okay, so the battery charger is hooked up, so I'm going to put the positive and the negative terminal. Once again, this is the minus, this is the plus. You can clearly see by the sides, by the size of the terminals, and we can see we have a 0 volts, which we measured with the multimeter that we have minus 20, minus 12. And now I'm going to rotate the alligators. Once again, the plus goes to the minus, and the minus goes to the plus. And we have 12 volts. The charger is recognizing the battery, and I even can switch the charging. This is for motorcycles and this is for cars. And as we can see, the charger is starting to charge the battery. Yeah, it's charging pretty quickly, but it still recognizes the battery. So we have some major problem with this battery for sure. It's completely short inside. So not sure what happened to the car. Probably some fuses or other things are burned out, but we're going to figure it out. I'm going to start by checking the powers and grounds on the ECM to see what burnt out. But once again, guys, to show you, this is the minus and this is the plus, and we can see by the size of the terminals, the minus is much smaller than the positive one. So yeah, major failure with this battery. Okay guys, as usual it's not so easy. As I told you, I was thinking that we don't have communication to the ECM, but it turns out that the check engine light doesn't work on this dashboard. So after plugging the diagnostic tool, it turns out that I have communication to the ECM and I don't have any error codes neither in the immobilizer, neither in the ECM. So it's kind of strange that the car doesn't want to crank or start. So I start investigating the immobilizer system why we are not getting any signal to the starter motor, and I'm going to show you what I have discovered. So after investigating a little bit, I checked the wire, the small wire, the signal wire that goes to a starter. Is going to be impossible to show you on camera, but the starter lies under the intake manifold. But for easier access, I traced the wire to here. In just a second. To this plug. Let me focus. So to this plug, the middle wire, the black and green wire, this one, black with green. So I supplied the wire with 12 volt. The starter started to rotating. So we were missing the signal for sure. The immobilizer system didn't want to supply the signal wire, and I decided to remove this panel, which is covering the EVS. This actually is EVS 3, and I'm going to show you on the wiring diagram. Noise. So okay, it's a little bit bright. As we can see, the ignition switch must supply the electrical immobilizer control unit, aka EVS, with 12 volt supply to pin number 2, and after that the immobilizer has inside a relay, I'm going to show you, should jump this 12 volt supply to pin number 1, which in our terms, let's see the plug X611. So the plug that I was talking about, that actually doesn't work, looks all the same, but it claims that it's on pin 3, and in our case it's on pin 1, but this doesn't matter, and after that it goes to the starter motor. So let's go to the EVS and see when the ignition it's on start position, do we have a 12 volt supply on pin number 2 on the EVS. Okay, so the test light is hooked up to battery ground. I'm just going to show you. The alligator is supplying 12 volts. So pin number 1 and pin number 2 is this two thicker black wires. So the inner wire is pin number 2 and the outer wire is pin number 1. So if we can trust the wiring diagram, we should have 12 volt supply on pin number 2 when we are trying to crank the engine. Yeah, I believe when we crank the engine we should have a 12 volt supply here. Okay, I'm just going to put the test light in pin number 2 like that. Once again testing the equipment. So okay, in pin number 2, and I'm going to try to crank the engine, and we have nothing. Let me try to push the brake pedal. I don't remember do I need to press the brake pedal, but I'm going to try it. Okay, and now, yeah, I guess I need to press it. So now we have a 12 volt supply, but still no crank. So the immobilizer doesn't want to send the 12 volt supply to the other pin, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to use this T pin, and I'm going to directly supply 12 volt supply to pin number 1, and let me show you what's going to happen. I'm not even going to touch the brake pedal, and the engine starts and runs as it should be. So okay guys, once again this is the EVS, and I was back probing this pin number 2, the another thicker wire, and we had 12 volt supply on it when we were trying to crank the engine, but this supply didn't go on the outer leg of the EVS, which we need to make it so to be able to start the engine. And when I supply directly 12 volt supply to this pin number 1, the engine starts and runs without any problem. So we need to figure out why the EVS don't want to send the 12 volt supply to pin number 1. Okay guys, so after a little bit of research, I want to show you where we are at. So I'm going to show you in the diagnostic tool what I saw. Pretty interesting with IMPA. I had some problems connecting to the EVS, and that's why I'm going to use the winch. Not sure why IMPA is doing all that trouble and is giving me false readings, but I tried several times to sync the EVS to the ECU and everything works fine. No error whites, no error codes in the ECM, and nothing about the EVS not working. But still I'm not able to connect it with IMPA. But doesn't matter, I'm going to use the winch for connecting to the EVS because it's much more easier. So just quick information how the EVS works on DC39s. So when you plug in the key, the EVS is sending, let's say, its signal to the antenna around the key, and after that it's retrieving the, let's say, the password of the key to the EVS once again. If the password is correct, the EVS is sending a signal to the DME, to the ECM, to confirm that, and if everything is right, the relay inside the EVS is switching and it starts rotating the starter. As we saw, we don't have that. We don't have control on the relay. I was starting to think that the relay is bad, and I was thinking to change it because I have a spare EVS in my shop. But then I saw something. I'm not sure it's now going to be, are we going to be able to see it right now? Let's wait for a minute. So this code, okay, we have some problem with the screen, but doesn't matter. This code is not going to enable us to start the car. We need to wait 10 minutes after disconnecting the battery for a few minutes, so to navigation system to go into safe mode, or how to call it. Actually, we can even see it on the instrument cluster that is waiting for some code, but yeah, we are missing some pixels, are like on any E38, E39 and X5s. So I'm going to disconnect the battery so to be able to wait these 10 minutes, and after that we're going to see is the car going to start. But before that, let's I want to show you just to show you where am I. Okay, in the visor system, yeah, the glance is not the best. Yeah, I'm going to remove that autofocus because it sucks. I hate this photo, it's really terrible. Okay, so in visor system, okay, ignition on. Once again, no fault codes, and if we go in the data stream, everything is selected for easier sync everything. Okay, so this is very important. Current key number, this is the primary key, which is number 1. Key disassembled, no, which means the key is okay. Key identification okay, key password okay. This means that the EVS is sending signal to check is the key the right, and the key is sending back the information to the EVS, and the EVS is saying that yeah, this is the right key, so there is no problem with the key. After that, key random com okay, key transmit, so key is sending transmission to the EVS, and we can see here on board computer code active. I believe that this should not be active, and as we can see it's still showing this code, and I'm not sure are we going to be able to wait this 10 seconds because this navigation has some problems and it's resetting itself all the time, and not sure are we going to be able to do it with this navigation. It's really problematic, but yeah, it doesn't matter. The other thing which is important to start this car is the park or neutral selection on the automatic gearbox, and I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit the gear. So right now we are at reverse. Yeah, reverse, but it's drive position. Drive position once again, we are at drive, and if we are at neutral, it's seeing that we are or park or neutral, which means the automatic transmission is sending signal that everything is fine and we can start the car. I checked the brake switch, it's working, it is seeing it that it's working, and we can see some other wife data, which we have no starter box. Let me switch on the automatic once again. This glance is terrible. Starter box die to central double locked, no. Starter deadlock die to binary code, yes. Not sure about this. What is this actually? Starter enabled, no. Yes, the starter is not enabled. Starter motor block die to, and yeah, the starter motor is not blocked because the park or neutral. What else? Starter motor speed exceeded, no. Starter center locking, no double locked. Status DME wire. Okay, this is the DME wire, which this is the wire which goes from the EVS to the DME, and it's saying that the key is to the right. It's sending the right information. Okay, everything comes to this code, I believe. So I'm going to disconnect the battery for some people are saying 5 minutes. To the main reason that I'm going to reset it because if I don't reset it, I'm not going to get that screen which is saying 10 minutes, that we need to wait 10 minutes to go in, I'm not sure, in safe mode or something like that, so to be able to start the car. So I'm going to disconnect for 5 minutes, and we're going to wait this 10 minutes after that, and see are we going to be able to start the car, because everything else is saying that everything else is right, everything else is working. And yeah, I believe this should be for the instrument cluster and the navigation, because starter deadlock die to binary coded code, because and this is the code, and we don't have the code. If I had it, it's going to be much more easier, but I don't have it. And yeah, the starter deadlock, and it's saying yes. So okay, let's do this procedure and see what we're going to achieve by that, because everything else seems fine. Okay, after disconnecting the battery for, I don't know, around 5 or 10 minutes, let's see, are we going to get this countdown on the navigation system. Hopefully it's going to be able. No, probably it's going to be needed more than this time. I'm going to disconnect for a little bit longer. Interesting, after giving ignition one more time, it gives me that wait time, so I'm going to leave it for 10 minutes. Not sure why. Okay, once again the screen go black. Not sure why it's not counting down the minutes, and yeah, disappeared once again. It's going to be really hard with this navigation, for sure. Once again, emergency deactivation, wait 10 minutes until the navigation deactivated once again. but it doesn't counting down the minutes. Guys, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this with this navigation. It's resetting itself every time that we start waiting. Probably we're going to need to bypass the relay of the EVS. If we bypass it with the two thicker wires, if we solder it back, if we solder the two wires to each other, still the EVS is going to work. If we put the wrong key in the ignition, the car is not going to start. Doesn't matter that we're going to short the both thick wires, because the key is going to send a wrong information to the EVS, and from there the EVS is going to send wrong information to the DME, and yeah, once again it resetted, and then the DME is not going to open the injectors. So still the EVS is going to work, but we're going to bypass the relay, because I doubt the owner is going to want to change this navigation system. And I talked to him, and he told me that he never had a problem with a flat battery, and he never used this code, and he doesn't know the code, which is it's going to be a little bit hard to fix it like that. So going to try a few more times. Okay guys, after searching some information, I think I found the right code for the navigation. So okay, uh, 6 and 7 and voila, and I'm pretty much sure we have a working car. So yeah, this code was preventing the EVS to start up the starter and start up the car. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to come up every time the battery is flat only. So it just was needing this code. And one more lesson: keep it simple, stupid. Don't go crazy with diagnosing wiring issues and checking everything when the problem is in front of your eyes. I just wanted to show you in the immobilizer system, in the EVS, once again the status of the bin code. I'm going to uncheck this. It was this. And right now we have a no. If you guys remember, previously we have an active value, and now we have a no, because the navigation system and the instrument cluster, probably the instrument cluster is unlocked. So yeah, once again, fault codes, and yeah, because the battery was disconnected several times, that's why we have this code. Okay guys, sometimes it's better to keep it simple, but yeah, I got a little bit further, and we saw the diagnostic tool that we have everything to start up this car, but it still didn't want to start, and I didn't saw the code that is wanted on the navigation system. But yeah, everything is working as it should be. The only thing that it left is to fix the alternator, because it burnt out because of the shorted battery, and I'm going to remove it and we're going to fix it, but this is a separate problem and nothing to do with the diagnosis. So okay guys, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.